Hey, it's Dana, and it is Friday, October 17th. I'm going to start a new little content series here on LinkedIn, and it's called What AI Did I Use Today? And Is It Accessible? So I'm going to start with actually what I'm using right now to record this video content, which is a platform called Riverside. I've used it a couple times this week. I've used it earlier than this week, but I've used it this week specifically to record a podcast, an internal podcast for my company, meaning the company I work at Level Access. This was for internal corporate communications. And I will say overall, love it. Why does this qualify as AI? Well, there's a couple things in Riverside that I would say really were great time savers for me, helped me record and publish some content really quickly. And that would be the video editing, built-in video editing capabilities within Riverside. So the editor will automatically detect filler words, ahs, pauses, stuff like that, and instantly edit them out, as well as look through the content and recommend some redundant content and suggest perhaps cutting it out. Riverside's not the only platform that does it. There are others out there, but that's one that I'm using and definitely finding value in. But what are some of the accessibility issues that I'm finding in platforms like Riverside? This is not sponsored. So just to be super clear, this is my, non-paid professional opinion. I would love to use things like Riverside more broadly for things like webinars, but some of the blockers for me right now are the fact that the platform itself is not really accessible for screen reader users. So if I have a colleague that perhaps is participating in the webinar as a guest speaker and they are needing to share content, the ability to share the share button functionality is not screen reader accessible, and there are currently no hotkeys in order to access that. So that's a bit of a blocker in some situations where I do have someone that I want to record and they want to share content and they are low vision or blind and a screen reader user. Another thing that has been a blocker for me on a platform like Riverside, using it for external webinars, is the live captioning capabilities. So currently we're using platforms like Zoom because of the live captions that are available. Now, Riverside does offer captions for recorded content and then publishing that out, whether you want to burn those captions into the footage or you want to upload like an SRT file. You can do that. But as far as live streaming events, there is not live captioning built into the Riverside platform. There may be some workarounds, perhaps streaming that content into platforms like LinkedIn. Still have to do a little more experimentation there, but I'll report back if I find a good workaround for that one. So another AI that I'm using today is a marketing software platform that honestly popped up in my Instagram feed, got my attention. I was interested. I said, okay, let's check it out. It's called Hollow.ai. Haven't gotten into it yet. Don't know if it's any good. High level, it's supposed to help generate marketing content, like social media content and things like that. Now, I am skeptical. I'm sure it will come up with some compelling and attractive content, but whether that content itself is accessible, my expectations are low, but I will be sure to report back. So anyway, happy Friday. Hope everyone had a great week, and I'll be back soon with What AI Did I Use Today? Bye.